those cracks were over an inch wide. We had to do something. Now, in 20 years, will we have to rebuild it? No, as long as the road is maintained. The following councils, as long as they don't let it get to the point where it was and keep it up, they won't have to worry about going that far again, because it was bad. The last time they did it, 6 or 7 years ago, they only put an inch of copper on it. That didn't do anything. It fell right into the cracks again. So this needed to be done what they did, but that road is going to have to be maintained every couple of years to keep it from getting as bad as it was.
I voted no on that 0.2%. I might have eventually voted for it, but at the time I didn't think it exhausted all of our options. I also voted no on the not letting the other tax sunset that we redirected to the police pensions. I would have voted for that had it not been for 10 years, because it seemed like we never let anything sunset. I would have liked to have revisited that every 2 years. The reason that the streets are in the condition they got to be was because the state legislature, who I don't see any of them in here tonight, they let the governor took the HERF funds, which is just crippled us. Now this year we are getting a little bit of an infusion back from that, but it's going to be temporary. So we need to continue to lobby to get that those HERF funds back. But if we're generating our own way because we're a thriving business community out here or tourist center, we won't have to beg anymore. We're like a pensioner that's on $400 a month, and we don't know anything, but we can't go out. Let's build up our reserves. Let's build up the population. I believe we get $5,000 a head per resident, just like the schools get so much per student. That's why we need to grow the city. We've got thousands of people living in the city limits that aren't in the city limits. Bring them in. They're already using our roads. Right across from the high school, there's a park there. There's probably 500-600 people there. Let's invite them into the city. And we haven't tried that. But that would be another solution to possibly to raise the revenue, because it is going to be a problem in 20 years unless we are self-generating.
Those parks are winter visitor parks. They're not owned by the winter visitors. They're owned by corporations out of the state of Arizona. And we try to bring them in, they will not come in. Here we go again. You can't force somebody to do something they don't want to do. They've been asked time and time again to come into the city.
I believe we're with Councilman Serdy now. This is a follow-up question. AJ has the second highest sales tax in Arizona. How much revenue do you think we lose to people shopping elsewhere, and what can we do about it?
Cumulatively, that's a tough word, it is. It needs to not go any higher because it will scare more people away. One of the reasons we lose the leakage is you take Gold Canyon. Right now, it is so inviting when they're down where the freeway splits in the old West Highway to just stay on that freeway and go down to Signal Butte and go to Power Road. And that's what's happening right now. If we bring them into the city and we punch either Southern or Broadway through, then they're going to be more likely to come shop at our new Fry's instead of going down to the Fry's at Power Road. And we've not tried that. That is one of the problems. And I will never vote for a new tax on top of that. I don't want to hit 10%. We're almost there. And I will never vote for a city property tax either. If it is going to be voted on, I think it should be voted on by you folks on a referendum. I don't think that the 7 council people should vote on that. Let's see if there's going to be a city property tax. Let's put it to the vote of the people.
Well, I can't disagree with that. I have to agree with that. I don't like a city property tax. And if the people want these services and we can't afford to give them to them, if it goes to the vote of the people, if they want it, fine, then it's on their backs. Because it's true, property tax will bring in money, but then again, it also alienates an awful lot of people. I moved here to Pancho Junction because I didn't want no. Even a little old time at Globe Bar, where I was before, had a property tax, and a lot of people left because of that. Now, as far as punching roads through, it's just not easy to go through. I'm trying to visualize a map in my head visualizing Southern and Broadway, you're going through, here we go again, you're going through some state land. You'd have to get that land before you get, it's not that easy just to punch a road through.
Little rebuttal. Baseline runs right into Silly Mountain. Broadway, you would have to cross a larger expanse of state land. Southern, if you stand on your tiptoes, you can see Mountain Brook there. So that would be the way to go. You would need a little strip of the private land that's there. It's just a matter of a few hundred yards. I think the county would like to give that up and turn it over to us. So, and it's a win-win for everyone if we can pull it off. But until we explore it, I know it's not going to happen.
An audience member is asking if Gold Canyon and Apache Junction were to unite, would Gold Canyon get a library annex or a multi-generational center annex? Here it's a lot.
No. You asked it, no, because are they going to pay for it? Because the city residents are going to be paying for their, I mean, we're already doing our share out here. If they wanted to come in the city, I think the money should come from them. And here's another reason why they don't want to come in. They do not want to be part of the city. I know too, I've done too much work out there and talked to them. They don't want to come into the city. I think we let that Gold Canyon go right now, just leave it as it is.
I think that would be a foolish thing to do because we already have the multi-gen that Gold Canyon uses, and we have one of the finest libraries in the whole state. So it will then be their library and their multi-gen. So it would be foolish to build that. What we would be gaining is right now, whenever we have a conference, we have to go to Dulce Vita, which is just a homeowners association. We would be gaining a conference center and a resort, well, two of them, and golf courses, which we would be gaining. It would be a mutual partnership. And there's also a sheriff's substation out there that they could abandon. We would then have a police substation, and they would have much better police service. But no, we would not need to build new facilities, and they're never going to be able to build facilities, and they're never going to be a town of their own. That's why I think if we present this right, they would want to come in. Why reinvent the wheel? We've already got a city government, we've already got a police force. Let's just bring them in and just, all we're going to do, move the property line and gain the residents, gain the prestige. People will think of this whole area as a region, and we're sitting where Scottsdale was in the 1950s, and we need to capitalize on it now, or else we're going to stay right in the rut that we're in.
Let's start with Councilman Serdy. What will you do as mayor to bring more business into Apache Junction instead of Mesa? I know it sounds very similar to the other ones, but in this case specifically, as mayor, what will you do?
Well, as of right now, we have 2 people in our economic development team, and I believe Mesa has about 50. So we're hurt there. We should probably try to put another person on there, try to get interns. We just used Arizona State to do a project, and we may never complete any of those projects, but we did get the help from them and get ideas. But this goes to our industrial park, which is not our industrial park. It's County Island. So how can we have our industrial economic development team try to bring industry here, and it would be going to the county, not into the city. Let's work on that first. We already talked about the friendliness. I would like to not so much merge the departments, but at the city clerk's office, you've got the planning department, you've got Parks and Rec. Those are all the faces of when people are visiting here. They're here for Lost Dutchman Days or the 4th of July. And if they go into one of these departments, then they should be able to refer to the others. As of right now, they are all operating individually. And if someone doesn't have their paperwork now in one, they'll say, well, you gotta go fix that. Instead of, well, if you go over to this department, and you talk to this person, they can help you, and we can sure be happy to have you here. And I'm not hearing any of that. And if you talk to different people's have started businesses or tried to start small businesses, there are some obstacles. So another thing is other cities, they not only fly to China and Germany, which I don't think we should ever do, but California is wide open. There's people want to escape California. Let's invite them over here. But they have to lose the California attitude.
What he said about going to California, that's what GPEC is supposed to be doing. They're supposed to be helping us out here in Apache Junction. That's why we joined. You know, before I became mayor and I was on the council, I made 3 trips to California with GPEC, trying to get people to move out here. And they did. Scottsdale and Mesa. I went along for a ride, you know, so we have to really work hard to get them to come out to Apache Junction. And the first thing they're going to say, what buildings do you have open? They were looking for buildings that were already open, big buildings. We don't have that at Apache Junction. You're not going to get a mom and pop come all the way from California out here. We need to keep the businesses that we have in the city. You know, we need to grow. True, we need to grow more businesses, but you got to get the land. I mean, we can talk all we want. We need to get the land, and we're not going to get the land just by talking. We have to work with it, and we are working with it. He's given the wrong impression. We're not doing anything about it. We are trying to work, but every time that we get to a director of the state land, a new governor comes in, throws that person out, and we're working. We went through 5 land directors ever since I got on the council. And every time we get somebody new, we'll have to go back to square one.
So let's go over their head right to the governor, is what I say to do. The land department head has no power in that, so let's leverage over them. As our businesses are closing, which there's a lot of them, you've got Elvira's, you've got Scuttlebutts, let's get them sold to people from out of state. That's the Hoosier Cafe, Wahoo's in Gold Canyon, just bought by somebody from Iowa. Superstition Harley, bought by somebody from Lake Havasu. Let's get the word out there that we have empty restaurants. You guys know about songbirds, how you have this real beautiful male, and he builds a nest, and then he tries to attract the female to come into the nest. That's what we need to do. We need to build the nest here with our industrial park that we don't have because it's a county island, and then try to invite them. So let's build the nest, get everything ready for when we do attract them.
This is for Mayor Insalaco. Is Apache Junction willing to give new businesses tax incentives to promote growth and attract new business?
I don't know if we're going to give them a tax incentive. You mean sales tax or what? I mean, what are they asking for?
That is the only taxes they would have.
Because we can't give them a tax incentive and then have all the other businesses
if it's new
raise the
building,
devil with us.
If it's new building, there are.
Okay, it's not tax. It's not tax. Okay, it's fees. All right. Our tax, our laws have changed. Our fees have changed. They're almost down to half what they were 3-4 years ago. So the incentive is there already. We've dropped a lot of our fees, a lot of our building fees. We've dropped them already. I don't know how much further you can drop them.
No, I don't think we should drop the tax rate, but possibly a move-in incentive. We have a success story here right now. We have the owners of the Hitchin Post, and we did waive some fees for them, and they made it work, and they're now a thriving business. A lot of people were against that, but hopefully and ideally, we should be making up on increased tax revenue right now. So yeah, I've heard it said that we shouldn't subsidize private business, yet we do it to the airport. We subsidize them with $120,000 a year, which is enough to hire a couple of code enforcement people. So there are things we need to do. Perhaps it's up to the council on a case-by-case business or a case-by-case. For instance, Mesa went out of their way to bring First Solar right across our county line. First Solar failed, and it's now the Apple plant. So you can go, if there's a grand enough project coming here, I do think we should go after it and dangle an apple in front of them.
As far as subsidizing the airport, that's the price of paying being in business. We're not the only city. There's 4 other cities involved and the Gila River Indian Reservation. That's the price of paying to be on that airport board to watch what happens around us. That's a fee we all pay. And we'll be paying that forever. We need to be there. If we don't pay that fee, we're gone. That's the price of being there.
This is going to be the last question. What are your plans to bring in new families, jobs, businesses, and activities for our community?
Well, you've heard some of them throughout the night. If we become a destination with stuff to do, we have a master plan for the 10 square acres that we don't yet have south of the freeway. If we, traditionally, the whole business model has built a bunch of houses, and then there's jobs to build the houses, and then they buy the houses, and then once the houses are built, the jobs are gone because they're done. So the plan mostly is to do more meandering houses down there. We don't need that. Let's go after a resort. I will fly to Las Vegas and talk to people. We have more Indian casinos. They're actually making money. Let's not alienate them. Let's reach out to them. Maybe we can get the Indians to build a resort here with no casino in it. They have money to burn. Part of this is the schools, and we need to put some people on the school board that are going to turn that around. It's hard to attract people with the school system the way it is, but that's kind of out of our hands. But if we make people want to move to Sedona, they want to move to Jackson Hole, Wyoming. We should be the Sedona of the Valley, and we're not. If we create that, we change the image, people will want to come here, our property values will go up. Merging with Gold Canyon is one of the ways, and then jumping across and getting the Renaissance Festival. And it's just a win-win, and it keeps dominoing.
What was the question? I mean, I had to listen and I just lost.
No problem, sir. What are your plans to bring in new families, jobs, businesses, and activities for our community?
Well, we need to do more like we did back in the early 2003, 2004. Habitat for Humanity came in and put up a project of 18 homes. The day they started, Councilmember Walter and I were there to help them start breaking ground, and we stood with a cup of coffee in our hand. Not to drink, keep our hands warm, because it was January 5th and it was below zero. But those homes came in, they're beautiful homes. We have 18 families that are living there that have put 400 sweat hours in their homes and other people's homes to be able to get these homes. And since then, we've already got about 9 or 10 more that Habitat has bought the property, either demolished the home or refurbished it, and people can move in. We need to do more than that. There was many a Saturdays that Councilmember Walden and I were there helping. There's a picture of my wife and I out there helping families move in. They put them in a national magazine. This is helping people, bringing people in the city, not just to help people have a living, to have a home. I don't know how many Saturdays Dave and I worked shoveling dirt, building 2x4, putting the walls together on our own time. This is a working mayor, okay? You work for the people, not just legislate. You actually go out and work and help the people.
30 seconds. Habitat for Humanity is fine, but it's one house at a time. We need more than that. So,
Sir, this was 18 homes.
Wow. Wow.
I just got through saying the first project was 18 homes in a development.
I was through.
How many years have we gone out every weekend to volunteer?
Okay, at this time, the candidates will have 3 minutes for their closing statements. Mayor Insalaco, you go first.
Since 2007. Since 2007. Every weekend.
You know, the Southeast Regional Valley, Regional Association of Realtors, SEVRA, they serve over 11,000 members in the East Valley. They support local governments, candidates that will protect realtors' interests in the American dream of home ownership. This is one of the things I'm talking about. They endorsed me and 3 other candidates for council this year. That's a big thing to have that endorsement. Now, I'd like to finish talking about what I was talking about before. This subdivision is right down, you can go see it, it's right down Ironwood Road, just past the Superstition Boulevard. It's 18 homes, he says, one home at a time. They were all built in the subdivision. Now, what they have done is taken blighted homes in neighborhoods, bought the property, and built homes for people to live in. This is growth. It's small growth, but right now, and what we've been doing in the past, it's working. Yes, we need more subdivisions, but we need to get the land. There are two subdivisions going in right now. They're just moving dirt. And what are they? They're retirement homes. They're 55 plus. We need to get that change. We need to get these developers to build family homes. That's the only way you're going to grow. So your kids can go to school, so the schools get more money, so the schools can do better. We have to think more of young families in this community.
And this is our closing statement. I did not get that SEVRA endorsement. However, if you drive up and down the trail, the struggling businesses and the other businesses, I have dozens of endorsements, and you'll see my signs on those businesses. So those are the people that are endorsing me, the people that need it and are engaged in the community. I've actually been criticized for winning, for being too successful in Little League and softball, which is bizarre. But if you put me in as mayor, I will win. Every job I've ever had, I've had to produce. I worked in food delivery. I worked in the oil field where after the wells were drilled, I produced them. If they didn't produce, I got fired. And if after 4 years, if I don't produce, I will step away. I'm going to step away anyway. And I'll also go for term. I will also try to get the council to put in term limits. But that's what you will get with me, and you'll also get someone that will market the city. We do have a little bit of marketing, but I don't believe we're doing it correctly or enough. If you come into my store, you'll go, wow, this is the place to go. That's what I want to do to the city. I want to make, wow, Apache Junction is where it's going on. It's a destination. That's where I want to go. That's where I want to move my business and my city, my family. And I have a Facebook page, Jeff Serdy for Mayor. I post something about every week, and you can read some of my other thoughts and what I've been doing. And I also, just last night, I pledged that if elected, I will make a Mayor Jeff Serdy Facebook page where I will be available every day, where I will take input, I'll take questions and complaints and things that we may be overlooking. And I look forward to that, and I'll get back to you within a day on all of those. And another thing we don't do is we don't have a state of the city address. Other cities do it, and I think we need to do that. I think we need to be, this is your city, I would be your representative, and I think, as you can tell, there is a difference. Does anybody win this debate? No, but you did see there is a clear difference of what we can be doing and someone that will try for it, or do we just go business as usual in the status quo? So thank you, and thank you to this VFW for having us, and it's a great facility.